So now we're ready to get started with the massage. Now, if you haven't watched the previous classes, you're not ready for this, I'm going to tell you, because this is fundamentals. And what I'm going to teach you right now is going to make all the difference in the world, but if you don't know how we got here, you're cheating yourself. So go back and watch the previous classes. So I've got a very famous model on the table. I'm going to be showing you what we do when we get started. Now, I've got her draped. She's comfortably laying here on the body cushion. Now, you know, this is my professional table, so this end is 4 inches lower than that end. So I'm going to start with the sheet, and I'm going to connect with her. Remember in haptics we talked about connection? So the whole palm of my hand and the pads of my fingers are connecting with her, and I'm getting her acquainted with my touch through the sheet. Why? Because she's safe here. She's got something between herself and myself. And if she's uncomfortable, she can tell me. So what am I looking for? I'm rubbing my hands over her back. I'm looking for cool spots, because wherever she's cool, there's no circulation. So I'm looking for those cool spots. Now remember, I'm staying connected with her. Secret number one, always, always, always keep both hands on the person that you're massaging, so they don't wonder where your other hand is. And besides that, you're passing energy. Energy goes out of your right hand and into your left hand. If I have both hands on her, I'm not taking her energy, I'm not giving her any energy. So I've checked her back over, and now I'm going to slide the sheet up, and I'm going to tuck it in her undergarments, into her jeans. And now I'm going to check her back again with my hands. Now at this point, I would add some oil to my hands and put some oil on her back, but I'm not going to do it on her right now because I'm just going to show you the strokes. I'm not necessarily going to do the strokes. So here's how I get started. I start at her waist, and I take my hand and I gently rub it across her back. And when I get to the center of my body, I switch hands. You see? So I'm not crossing over myself. Now I'll start with my right hand again. And I'm only going to work on one side of her back for this presentation, but I'm going to tell you, when I get done with this, you should go around the table and start on the other side. So I'm going to do this for just a few minutes because I'm getting her comfortable with my stroke. Now, is it much pressure? No, it's very superficial. I'm letting her get to know me, and I'm getting to know her. No surprises, no secrets. And you see my hand is gently gliding across her back and up onto her shoulders. Then I start again, back and forth. Now you remember, it's comfortable for me to have her body at the right height. And I have to make sure that she's comfortable. So I'm going to ask her, are you comfortable?
Yes.
Good. Is the temperature okay?
Yes.
If you get chilly, I want you to tell me. I'm swapping hands again. Now this is not a hard stroke, is it? Now, I would have come around and done the other side. Then I'm going to go to the head of the table. And this is just another get acquainted stroke. I'm going to put my hands on her back, run them down to her undergarments, around, up, and off her shoulders. A get acquainted stroke. Just a get acquainted stroke. Now I'm tying her all back together. Now I would have already done both sides of her at this point. And now that she's comfortable with my stroke, are you comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. Now that she's comfortable, I can go back around and I can get started. Because what I want to do is I want to unravel her erector muscles. And why do I want to do that? This is really important. I would say that 99% of all the 30,000 massages I've done, this is where I start, bumping over the erectors. Bumping, bumping, bumping. Is that too much?
No.
Now, I would have oil on and I would slip a little bit. I would slide a little bit, but I don't have oil on at this point. Now, what do I use for oil? Very important. If you wouldn't put it in your mouth, don't put it on your body. Because whatever goes on your body, you absorb a certain amount of that. So why would you want to put some chemical on your body? Well, I wouldn't. So where do I go get my oil? Well, I go to the grocery store and I buy extra virgin salad oil, or I buy sesame oil. Sesame oil, either extra virgin olive oil or sesame oil. And from my point of view, that's the best you can do. So I'm working the erectors. Now, am I going to jump around? Absolutely not. I'm going to start at the very bottom, and I'm going to work to the top. Now, how far down will I start? Well, I'll start right above her pelvis. Start right here. Bump, 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 bump. Now, if I only ever learned one stroke, this would be it. This is the stroke that's the most transformational stroke that we ever do on the body. Because why? Well, I'm going to show you here in just a second, but I don't want to leave her incomplete. So I'm never going to stop in the middle of a muscle. I'm going to go all the way up the muscle to the top. Now, think about this. These are the vertebrae. These are the nerves. When the vertebrae are close together, they shut off the nerves. When they separate apart, they relax the nerves. Well, the whole nervous system lives right here. This is our nervous system. It's where it lives. So if we can relax the spine, and if we can get these muscles to stop contracting and pulling the vertebrae close together, what happens to the whole body? The whole body relaxes. The whole body relaxes. So you see, I'm just bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump. And this is how we get started. Every time. That's how we get started. Now, when I'm going to do the headache massage, I go from here to the shoulders. When I'm doing the low back massage, I transition down here. But I start here. This is the starting point. You notice that both my hands stay on her body? She's comfortable. I'm comfortable. Now, you know what? I can press into her body, and it's comfortable for her. Is that comfortable? Yeah. Because I'm pressing her into the body cushion. Now, why don't I lay people on a flat table? Because she's got larger breasts than I do, because she's female. And if I did this to her, I would be pressing her breasts into the table. That wouldn't be very good, would it? That's why we use the cushions. We use the mat, or we use pillows, or we use the body cushion. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You're light years ahead of most people out there in this business, because you know these fundamental facts. And if you master the fundamentals, then you'll be good at whatever you do. So you've seen what I've done. You can play this over and over again until you completely get it and you're comfortable. And if you want to get really good, you practice, 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 practice. So now we're ready to go on to the next class.